Alright, chat. We are gonna go through the patch notes. January 24th. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube. It's not too many things here, but the few things that is very nice. So I guess I can also talk about the events of the week, and there's going to be a horse event, the usual one that we always get, horse EXP and more ferns, more feathers, more oblivion flowers if you turn in the Imperial, right? But we also have an ice fishing event, and you can get like 100 Valk fail stack, and you can get a maid, and then you get the 10-hour buff, the usual one with the 10% item drop rate, and or if you life skiller, you can get that 10-hour life skilling buff. They also gave us a school costume that you can buy, I guess, if you want that, if you like that. Class changes, scholar, anti-gravity, fixed so all of the recovery effect reduction icon is correctly displayed in the defuck section. Fixed the issue where all of the recovery effect reduction was applied to players who are neither allies or enemies. Okay, so yeah, that one is good. This one is whatever. Good. Content. I thought that they were gonna do way more when it comes to like classes and PvE, because they kind of stopped doing PvP changes because they don't know what to do, and I thought that they would actually like maybe balance PvE a little bit, but seems like they don't do that. Content. Improve the Magnus Abyssal Well teleport. So this is a huge thing right here. So instead of having to go into Magnus, like loading screen Magnus, like go down a stair, teleport to Valencia, and then the loading screen again, and instead of doing all of that, you just instantly teleport to the location here. So you go to the well, you interact with it, you pick where you wanna teleport to, and there you go, get teleported. They also added the wells to Musgar, Ulukita, and yeah, west of it and south of it. So 2 teleports. That's kind of interesting that they added 2 teleports in Ulukita, but okay, why not? Maybe because they do this, maybe they're gonna add more wells around the BDO map. So because they added 2 of them. Oh no, never mind. I'm a Pepega. Is one of them that you go out from and one of them that you go in from, right? So never mind. Oh my god. Never mind. I was about to go conspiracy mode right there. So yeah, they also reducing the silvery cost to teleport. And I never really understood this because 20 million, at least it's like, you know, a very, very minimal amount of money. It could even cost more than that, maybe even to get rid of a little bit of inflation in the game and stuff like that. But to reducing it to 5 million, it could all the same be 0 silver, because 5 million silver, that's nothing, like literally nothing. So I don't really understand why they did that change, knowing about that. Like, let's reduce that to 5 million silver. That is nothing. So if anything, take it away. You just, like, you know, if they want to get like handle the inflation part a little bit, they could like make this 50 million. But yeah, whatever. It is expensive for me. Yeah, I mean, for people that don't grind, I guess. But you guys see my point here. Like 5 million is like, who cares? So they could have just been for free. There's no reason to even have that, you know, like. Item combination processing type accessory materials. Remove some of the combinables from the game. That's the blue accessory necklace right there. Is the lunar necklace. A bunch of the other ones, Bassy, Orkinrad belt. So they're taking away all of these combinable stuff, right? And then they make it so you just drop the accessory, right? All of these are gonna turn into at least the lunar, and the arid river. They're gonna turn into the items, right? So the lunar and the blue necklace. So you don't need to combine anything, or Oh, what is happening with my scroll? So yeah, they also changing the drop rates on the accessories, which they kind of have to do a little bit because you had pity pieces that you combined into at certain regions, right? And then you also had like raw drops. So to not blow up the whole Bassy marketplace or whatever. I don't really know how that looks like right now, but there'll be way too many of them if they just dropped all the time, right? But yeah, no, they're gonna have to increase it because they take away the pity stuff, right? They would actually have dropped less. They also adding the river necklace and the lunar to the following monster zones here: Biragi Den, Swamp Nagas, Swamp Fogans, Altar Imps, and Bloody Monastery. Okay, so you can drop like both of them at all places right there. That's interesting. So yeah, you don't need to combine them anymore. There's no combining materials. Adjusted the interior points of the manor essence of the Azure Dragon to 100. Okay. Monsters. Dekia Lantern Aakman Temple Hystria Ruins. For those adventurers who own the highest gear, venturing into Aakman Temple and Hystria Ruins for treasure items can be a daunting task, as it may hinder your progress for a time. Yeah, it took me 2,300 hours to get the compass piece. By adding Dekia Lantern Monster Zone to these locations, it is now possible to obtain the treasure item as well as the Baraka Earring at a very low chance. Rest assured, we'll continue to expand the Dekia Monster Zone, providing more options for these with the highest gear. My point of view is if they make Aakman Temple and Hystria Ruins Lantern extremely high money per hour, they are kind of ruining the game by adding the Debaraka Earring into these spots. Because everyone's gonna grind there, even if it is a low chance, everyone's just gonna they're gonna get the Debo Earring like easy peasy. And they'd be able to do that with ease, almost like sleeping with AoE classes, just standing there like spamming skills. And that is obviously not a good idea. The Debaraka earring is still a pretty new earring that is like for the super end game to have something to focus on. And they should kind of remain being so for at least another half of a year. And like, a year after, they can start to make it easier to get it. And, that's pretty important that it doesn't just become like way too easy to get, because end game people, eventually we get all of the things and then we quit the game. So that's what we do when we have nothing else to go for. Aakman Temple add a new monster zone. So yeah, you'll be using the lantern here in 2 places in Aakman. Recommended gear score 300-400. So for an Awakening Witch, that would be like 250, 150, right? Kick W. The Baraka earrings, Tungrad earrings, Kefra stones. Okay, so yeah, they even dropped the piece right there. Hystria ruins. Also 2 locations. Presumingly, I'm just yeah, no, I'm not gonna comment on that because I don't know. Recommended AP 300 400. So that's the same recommended AP right there. Okay, cool. In Hystria, they also removed some monsters in corresponding areas with the addition of Aakman Temple and Dekia Hystria Ruins. Added a world map icon, Aakman Temple and Hystria Ruins. I obviously haven't played yet. We're gonna go into the game soon and we're gonna play around. If this is where it is and this is where it is, I think it's pretty bad locations. I think it's very bad when you combine end game and low end, like, you know, early gameplay. So you have a bunch of like new players running through here, and then like here you are end game like smashing monsters. That guy is gonna die. It's the same thing like when the Ollen's AoE is so big that people autopathing on a horse through Ollen's, which is like a further away distance, like the road is like far away, they die because they get AoE to death. So obviously a pretty bad location when it comes to implementing new content in the game, especially like end game content. They place that like straight in there. It's like people are spawning in. Like if you take a teleport here, you can spawn over here, and then you have to run through this. Like you're gonna die as a new player, right? Lucky if you spawn on top, right? Because then you don't have to run through this. But yeah, we see what happens. It also seems to be like in the middle of a rotation. Like look at that. Like it looks like it's like in the middle of a rotation. So it already looks like, okay, let me as an end game player just yeet and delete this noob that is grinding here, and now this is mine, right? So that's not good either. It's not good for the game to combine the end game and the early gameplay. So hopefully, if it is that way, then they would have to move those locations a little bit. It's not even too hard to do that. They can just like make an entire room for the end game, you know, and they can make it so maybe you understand that as a new player, like, oh, I keep on running down here, like it becomes harder and harder further down, like, or like, you know, they add like a separate room that you have to interact with to get through, right? Kind of like Kretuga in a way. But there are many ways to do that to separate the grind spot. Mount. Improve the visibility of the wind favor gauge accumulated upon minigame success for the guild members who are on deck with the improved galley. Cool. It would be fun to see someone use this because I haven't seen anything. Improve the Hystria tutorial. Okay. Desert and Great Ocean navigation has been improved. It's like that. That's when using a compass. Cool. Yeah, they could have made it Elvia. It would have probably been better if they made it Elvia, to be honest. But they kinda, I think they are pretty lazy when it comes to lanterns. It is very easy to make the lantern grind spot. All they need to do is like have the monster spawn in, and then they have the same mechanics at all lanterns, like you kill everything except for one monster, and then they respawn, right? So I think the lantern is pretty. It's a cheap way of making a grind spot. Even Elvia is a cheaper way of making a grind spot, but at least they have to like they have to make like pack to pack to pack to pack, and that takes a little bit longer time, I presume. So yeah, they could have made a LV. I'm not like I'm turning. I used to be a fan of the lantern, but it seems to be like way more favorable for AOE classes, like way more. And because of that reason, I'm kind of losing it a little bit when it comes to the lantern grind spot. Because if you play a class that has AOE and you have like big damage, you're gonna do so much better than if you don't have AoE. And if you have like, you know, okay-ish damage or whatever. It's a huge difference. So yeah, improving navigation stuff. Okay. UI changed the system message regarding to obtain workers who completed a task in production nodes and crafting at house. No longer appears at the center of the screen, only in the chat window. So that is huge. Huge. Change the worker level notification to only be displayed in chat. Huge. Fix the effect when selecting reward challenge to be more emphasized. Okay. Yeah, so that is like most of it. They're doing some bug fixes here and adding a little bit to an Archillian gear. It seems like a few floating ships. That's good. Good that they take care of that. Yeah. So the most important thing here actually is this. I know that this is actually the best thing in the patch. Because notifications in BDO is tremendously annoying. Tremendously annoying. And this is one of the reasons why I haven't fed my workers many times. Many times. Because I don't want to see the message on the screen. They still have a bunch of messages on the screen that you can't really take away or hide or anything. And they should do that with everything. You should be able to hide it. You should be able to change the location of it. You should be able to, like, if you don't want to be notified, you shouldn't get notified, you know? That's how it is. That's how it should be. You get annoyed otherwise. It's so annoying. Obviously, getting the lantern areas right here is also pretty cool. But I still believe it is better than nothing. But it's a lazy way of, like, developing the game. It's like, okay, let's just change the monsters a little bit and we add them like in a... And then it's like super broken if you play a witch or something. It's like giga broken if you have AoEs. So I'm not really a big fan of like remaking a grind spot. Just a tiny little bit. I'm a bigger fan of making a new type of monster or like a new region, or I'm way more of a fan of that. Obviously the teleport is also pretty huge, so you can just like interact with this instantly and you don't need to go into the Magnus, you know. So that's huge. So pretty solid patch in my opinion. Depending on how much money per hour they make this this grind spots here, right? If it's very, very high money per hour, I think that they should take away the Debaraka earring. Is too new of an item for like best in slot, the higher echelon of, like, you know, something to grind for that doesn't really matter. It gives people a purpose to keep on going and to keep on, you know, playing BDO. But obviously, if this is to be like 5 billion per hour, then everyone's gonna have this at 720 gear score. That's just how it's gonna go. Even if it is very hard to acquire. You put an AFK witch over there, you stand there for 18 hours a day pressing free skills, like just standing there, and easy peasy. You know? You can sit on your couch watching TV with a wireless keyboard and mouse and just, press random buttons. That's what the AoE does for you. You know? So that's the end of that patch note. Subscribe to YouTube and check out everything. You know what is huge? No, I don't know what is huge. Well, what is